What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my movie review of the brand new film, The Walk. So The Walk is the latest movie directed by Robert Zemeckis, who happens to be one of my favorite directors ever. I mean, seriously, the man's resume speaks for itself. He's directed Back to the Future, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Forrest Gump, Castaway, and Flight. Truth be told, those are all some incredible movies. Some of the greatest movies ever made. So of course, when I saw that he was directing this movie, especially with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I was extremely excited. I first saw the preview for it like 6 months ago, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, what is this man doing? You know, and I didn't even know it was based off a true story, so that makes it even more incredible to see. So like I said, The Walk stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's playing Philip Petit. He's a French wire walker who attempts to walk between the two towers of the World Trade Center. You hear that and you're like, what the hell is this guy thinking? Like, he must be crazy. He must be mad to pull off something like that. Like I already said, the craziest thing about it is this actually happened. In 1974, this actually occurred. Philip Petit is a real man who really walked across the two towers of the World Trade Center. With that in mind, I was very much interested to see how this movie would play out because I did not know the story of Philip Petit, so I was very much intrigued by the concept of somebody attempting to pull off a stunt that's so mad and so grand. Like, it makes for an incredible movie experience. And again, Robert Zemeckis delivers with another incredible film to his repertoire. This movie is really enjoyable. I gotta give props and shout outs to Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He really did carry this movie with his performance. I thought his accent was gonna irritate me, the French accent, but it didn't. Like, he actually carried this movie. He was charming, he was witty, he was very passionate about his art. You can see that throughout his entire performance. Like, he exuded the charisma that you would think somebody who would attempt a stunt like this would have to exude, because you have to be confident in yourself. And I thought Joseph Gordon-Levitt did an incredible job. Also in the movie was Ben Kingsley. Ben Kingsley was in the movie. I thought his role was going to be a little bit bigger, but I think for the time that he had, he did a pretty good job. He kind of served as a mentor to Philip Petit in preparing for this incredible stunt. And kind of how the movie was framed, it seemed like a heist movie, really, because they spent a lot of the time of the movie planning. He had to get accomplices to help him out with this, and they had to come up with a major coup to even pull this off, because it's something that's technically illegal. So it very much felt like a heist, spy, espionage movie. They had to do a lot of disguises, a lot of pre-planning to even pull this off, and it felt like it had that sense of urgency to the movie the entire time. So then, as you make your way towards the end of the movie and you're getting ready for this incredible stunt, it's the moment that we always build up to in this movie. You just see that it took an incredible amount of planning and precision to even make this happen, but they also met a lot of challenges along the way. But a lot of the movie, I felt like I was on the edge of my seat, like hoping that they wouldn't get caught and hoping that this was going to actually work. I think that really helped out the pacing of the film. It gave you a sense of urgency. It kept you on your toes. It kept you guessing like what was going to happen next, especially because this actually happened. So as you can imagine, the last part of the movie, the climax of it, really the third act, was spent with Philip Petit attempting to make this walk happen. If you don't know the story of it, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but just trust and believe me, it is spectacular to look at. This is really an original movie, if you ask me. Like, there hasn't really been a film about wire walking. So when you take this grand spectacle of a stunt and put it on film, especially with the two towers, which were at the time the tallest buildings in the world, you get an incredible visual storytelling aspect to this movie. You got to give props to the whole crew and Robert Zemeckis for actually making you believe that he was on top of these towers making this walk. Like, to look at it and then to look down, 700-800 or however many feet it was below, probably over 1,000 actually, to look down and see the ground and to see that he could potentially fall to his death, like, it was surreal to watch, seriously. There have been a lot of reports coming out of people getting vertigo and like getting sick from looking at it. I can imagine, luckily I have a pretty strong stomach, but I can imagine somebody just, letting it all out inside the movie theater if they're looking at this movie and having like these extreme senses of vertigo, especially if you're watching it like on IMAX and in 3D where it's like super big. He looks like he's about to fall. Like, you're gonna get nervous because that sense of urgency and just the threat of him, potentially falling to his death was just like, it felt so real that it was just incredibly done, and you just gotta give props to the whole cast and crew for pulling this off. Not to mention, it was also beautiful to see that, it was kind of like an ode to the two towers, As we all know, the two towers fell during 9/11 due to terrorist attacks, but it was really good to see the two towers painted in a good light and to really look at them in their beauty, once again, and paint them in a good picture instead of the tragedy that we always remind ourselves about. So overall, I really enjoyed The Walk thoroughly. I didn't think it was going to be that good of a movie. I didn't know how they were going to frame a whole movie around this one particular sequence, but Robert Zemeckis did an incredible job. He did not let down. So for me, The Walk gets an 8.1 out of 10 for incredible visual storytelling, a great performance from Joseph Gordon-Levitt, incredible directing from Robert Zemeckis as usual, and you just really got to give this movie props for being original in the sense of, you know, how it told the story and being an adaptation of a book and a real true event that actually happened. That just makes it all the more better to know that something like this actually occurred, and it makes you just, you know, realize that anything is possible. Alright folks, that's all I got for my review of The Walk. As always, follow me on social media, JRW the Creator on Twitter and Instagram, and then go check me out at my website, jordanrwilliams.com. And as always, I'll see y'all next time.